Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope the show finds you in good spirits. Yes, I'm in a different place today for a very good reason. I'll explain here in just a little bit, but I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. I told you guys I would not stop. I would not let this situation that I am in, and a lot of other people in this area are going through right now as well. I told you guys that I would not let this stop me covering the Diddy trial, trying to stay on it, trying to stay with you guys with everything that's going on. We're just in a different place, just a different background, but it's the same old thing. We're going through the same old stuff that's going on. My screens are a little bit smaller. I'm not in my purple ass room, and that it is what it is. Okay. So again, before we get into everything, and I'll explain everything before we jump into the actual trial, getting to all the way up to date to where we are right now as we speak in the trial. I know that there's something going on as far as they're just about to be done with their lunch break here in a little bit. And then they got Carrie Morgan on the stand, Cassie Ventura's ex-best friend on the stand. So it's going to be very interesting. So before we get into everything, do me a solid. And of course, like I said, I'll explain everything in a little bit because I know some of y'all are like, what's going on with what's up with the beige, man? What's up with the beige? I'm going to explain that in just a little bit. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what to do. Hit that reaction button. If you're watching on other platforms, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, please hit that follow button. I'm on all those platforms, okay? Follow. Don't forget to subscribe here. Subscribe. Please go to my second channel too, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. And of course, hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, most importantly, check out pascalmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. pascalmerch.com. Okay. All right, guys, we got to get into this conversation. We got a lot to talk about. We got so much to talk about. And it's more than just us having a conversation about the diddler and all that's going on. And also, I will say this. I want to make sure, I'm assuming you guys can hear the music and everything, which is great. If you can hear the background music, if you can hear everything, please hit the number 1 in the chat. That'll be greatly appreciated. I just want to make sure, because my show is nothing without the sound effects. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing without the sound effects, baby. All right. So, and I got little dogs running around and, under my feet and everything. Okay, so let me explain something really, really quick, just for those of y'all who may not be completely savvy to what's going on. In fact, let me get this situated a little bit better. I feel like you guys are far away. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Over the weekend, Friday, okay, not even over the weekend's been hell on earth. I will be honest. And if you haven't been following or watching any of my lives, it has been a very interesting couple of days. Number one is one thing's for sure. And I'm glad you guys can hear all the sound effects. I'm really happy about that. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is raspberries. Anyway, I'm happy that you guys can hear everything. And that's fantastic. Let me explain something to you what happened. So we were live. We were covering everything. It was right before Dawn Richard was supposed to take the stand. Cassie had just been let go. She finished up her testimony. And then all of a sudden, I start getting alerts on my phone, on my Apple Watch, everything, saying that there is a tornado warning in the area. Actually, it wasn't even like a tornado. Here's the thing. A tornado hit my area. I'm on the outside. Where I live is on the outskirts of the area of where it actually touched down. But nonetheless, we didn't really get much of a warning. Suddenly, the sirens went off. You guys hear it in the live. Go check it out at the very end of the live, because we were cut off abruptly. Why? Because a tornado touched the mother-loving ground. Okay. And let me tell you something. It was hell on earth. Everything went sideways and upside down, literally and metaphorically speaking. Okay. But you hear the sirens go off. There is sounds of hail. At least this is what I was hearing. Maybe you guys, it didn't pick up on the microphone at that time. And then all of a sudden, the everything just went dark. Okay. Everything just shut down. All right. So over the past couple days, obviously today's Monday. So for the whole weekend, there have been thousands of people either without power, without internet, without food, without water, all that. It's been really, really bad over here. Okay. And of course, I went downtown to spread some awareness about it, to let you guys know what was going on. It's really bad. And apparently we're about to get hit with another storm, another series of storms tonight. And they might be devastating as well. We're not entirely sure as of yet, but I do want you guys to know, we are here. We are fine. I'm just in a different location to cover these things for all of you guys. And of course, because I really care about this case and I really want to know, shoot, we've been covering this for almost a year. Okay. It's been insane. And so nonetheless, so right now I'm in a different place. Okay. Shout out to my fam. Thank God for my family. All right. For letting me, utilize their location and their Wi-Fi. Let me tell you something. You never knew how badly you miss Wi-Fi until it's gone. Okay, until the internet just goes, like, you just go, wow, I didn't realize how much I rely on internet. It is insane how much I rely on internet. But at the same time, it is important, especially with what we do. So here it is. We're okay. We are going to keep trudging through. You'll be seeing me in possible multiple locations just so I can continue covering this case, and just ride with me. All right. Because the coverage is not going to change. We're still doing exactly what we did before. We're just going to be in different locations. And for right now, we're here to cover this case with a beige background. And then we're going to roll, and hopefully everything will come back up and running tomorrow. I don't know. That's the only thing. There are bigger fish to fry. Just to be completely honest, there are families without power. There are literally people who have homes that have been leveled, completely gone. Okay, completely leveled out. And so, with that being said, for the fact that the only issue I have right now is that there's no internet in my home, I'll take that over having my home completely leveled out. So I'm very thankful and I'm counting my blessings, but I also do know that there's a lot of other people that need help as well, and can use the resources, contributions, donations, whatever. I'll be sure to mention those near the end of the show, just to give you guys some awareness on that. And if you guys want to, like I said, even if it's $1, okay, $1 right now would go very, very far. All right, in helping some of the people here in this area, and again, even people in Kentucky, and if I'm correct, Indiana was hit. Some people were hit in Indiana as well by these tornadoes, by that particular storm that passed over all of us. So again, okay, so just so you guys know what's popping and what's cracking, okay? So just let me know what is going on. Just let me know. Just let me know, if you guys are having any issues with the internet and all that, because I am in a home that is just, they live in squalor. I'm kidding. No, this is a beautiful home. Sorry, I got family looking at me crazy. I said squalor. Yeah, man. I said squalor. He heard me. Anyway, hey, if you can't, roast the ones you love, then there's no point in living, right? But I kid. Okay, this is a beautiful home, and I'm very, very thankful to be here. So let us get into the conversation. Yes, it is time to get into this mother lover. Okay, it is time to get this conversation going, and yeah, we got some things to talk about. Okay, so we're gonna get into this, like the updates. We're gonna do some catching up to all of this, of course. All right, so just so you guys know, if you guys didn't already know, okay, Cassie Ventura obviously finished up her testimony. Of course, she's going to be, she's done. Now she's going to get ready to give birth, because remember, she is literally about to she's about to pop, okay? She's 9 months pregnant, and I'm surprised she stayed up there for as long as she did. Major shout out and love to her for doing what she did to bring just to do her testimony and staying as strong as she did, all right? But let me just blow this up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better too as well. And hold on. Like I said, I'm just trying to make this all work with these tiny, tiny, tiny screens, just so y'all know. Hold on. Just adjusting a few things real quick, because I want to see, whoops. Let's do that a little bit better. There we go. And real quick, S-Dubs, thank you so much for becoming a member, or maybe refreshing. But welcome back. And thank you so much for being an amazing mod as well. Shout out to all my mods. Okay. Shout out to all the mods. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all the support. But just like S-Dubs, please consider becoming a member by hitting that join button down below. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. So, yeah, and Chow, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are all doing just fine. Okay, everybody is okay. So I appreciate that. But let's get into this, okay? So it says here, let's get through some of this. Let's get into the testimony. Richard obviously arrives in court. Okay, so after about 20 minutes of discussion between the judge and attorneys from both sides, Richard was brought back to the witness stand to continue her testimony. They say that she wore slacks with a white shirt and an overcoat. So Richard recalled how frightened she was when Diddy allegedly threatened her and the defendant's then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The incident happened in 2009, a day after Diddy attacked Cassie with a skillet, according to Richard. Now, this is something that they talked about in the very beginning of the trial, in the very beginning of when Dawn went up and took the stand. She did her testimony, and right after Cassie, and it was almost like she was up there for like 5 seconds, literally like 5 seconds. She was up there for 2 seconds. They asked her a question, and then they had to adjourn for the day, right? So it seems like they're obviously trying to circle back to what they were discussing before they had, they adjourned for the day. So they're talking about that incident again, all right? And she says she was scared because Diddy apparently was sitting there saying like, "Where's my food?" And Cassie did not have the food ready or something of that sort. And he got mad and then, of course, attacked her with allegedly a skillet. Like, I guess she was frying some eggs or something like that. And he went off and he lost his mind, had this crazy mood swing, and attacked Cassie in the way that he did. She apparently fell down to the ground, went into the fetal position out of absolute fear. And I'm sure she does that all the time. That's her. She recoils as if this is what she's used to have happening to her, and I wouldn't be surprised. And then, of course, other witnesses, other people were there seeing this. It wasn't just Dawn Richard. It was also Kalina, apparently another member of Dirty Money, that also was there seeing this as well. But like I said, I digress. We're going to get into that conversation here in just a little bit. But he said you could go missing, that we could die. This is what she said to the jurors. Okay, this is what she said during the questioning, right? I was shocked, but also scared. I couldn't believe this would be the beginning of a journey for us. And she was talking about the journey of the group, the members of Dirty Money. But remember, there's only 3 people. It's Diddy. The members of Dirty Money is literally Diddy, Dawn Richard, and Kalina Harper. And Kalina Harper is sitting here. She's screaming that Diddy didn't do anything. In other words, she got paid off. That's what I truly think. This woman got paid off. All right, just to keep it 100% with y'all. Okay, but moving on. Dawn Richard has said regularly that she says she regularly witnessed Diddy lashing out on Cassie over the years. Often after this, his then girlfriend would voice her opinion. So anytime he said, "Hey, I need to do this," and she's like, "Well, I don't think that's and he would just lose his mind, right? Frequently, he would use his hands on her, wrap his hands around her neck. He would slap her. He would use his feet. I got to use all these code words, unfortunately, but you see it right here in this article here, right? This is what she was saying, that she would frequently, or Diddy would frequently do these things to Cassie on the regular, okay? It could be because she was speaking up for herself. It could be random. It could be if she had an opinion for herself, she would be quiet. And when she had these moments of trying to stick up for herself, he would hurt her for that. Real talk, we gotta hit that button, y'all. Absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane to have something like that actually happen on the regular, anytime, just because, whenever, whatever. That's insane, right? Real quick, let me get this super chat before these all get too much. Glad you're okay. Did you see Law and Crime took transcripts and made an AI video of opening statements? Wonder if they will do that for every day. Okay, so Mo, first off, thank you so much for the super chat. And let me just say this: I've seen it. I've actually seen the video of that AI video. But I gotta say, I can't really. Are they gonna do it for every single one? I don't know. One thing is for sure, though. I really would love to get. I really would love to get the transcripts of the direct, the cross, of Cassie's, of everyone's. But I don't know where everybody's getting the transcripts. Real talk. But I really would love to get that. Honestly. So if anybody knows where to get that, let me know. But the AI stuff is a really smart idea. I'm going to keep it a bean. It's a smart idea. Real talk. So I guess we'll see here with what they do with more, because I think that it was a cool idea. I thought it was really well done. So we'll see what happens. Okay. But let's move on. All right. Let's see here. The 2 female members of Diddy's Dirty Money wore sunglasses alongside Cassie during a Central Park appearance as a way to support her, Richard said. So they wore sunglasses. I'm wondering why. According to to Richard, Cassie was attacked in the face by Diddy at his home in 2009 ahead of an event. And he has a tendency of doing that a lot too. Haven't you noticed? Anytime that there's some sort of event that Cassie's going to be a part of, if she's going to a red carpet event, or if she's about to perform on stage of some sort, he will put his paws on her to the point where she has to hide in plain sight. Do you realize how insane that is? That's absolutely that's knuck and foots. All right, that's insane. That you got a situation where people are willing to A man is willing to do something like this. A person is willing to do something like this in plain sight, putting their hands on them like this. Hours, if not a day before an event, and they're just out here just showing this. You know what I mean? Like either trying to cover it up in makeup or something of that sort. That is just insane. Okay, absolutely insane. But according to Richard, yes. Okay. So yeah, I blah blah blah. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. So punched her in the face. Attacked her in this event ahead of this event. Former girlfriend had a swollen eye that she used makeup and sunglasses to hide. This is what Richard Dawn said in the report. We wore sunglasses to have solidarity with her and have a support system because she needed it. Now I'm wondering if Kalina is ever going to speak up about this and say, yeah, we wore those sunglasses because we were doing that out of solidarity. And yeah, he was a monster. But so far, we have not heard anything of that sort. She is still, Kalina Harper, right here, is still refusing to speak out, except she came off a little bit cracked out when she did that interview. And if you know what I'm talking about, she looked cracked out. All right. And yeah, I don't think Kalina is going to speak out. She got paid too well. Money's too good. She got paid way too well to ever speak out against the diddler. Okay. But okay, so we already know she's already been best known for her time performing in the girl group Danity Kane. Just a little bit of recap for everybody here. But she was also in another musical group in the mid 2000s. And if you don't know about the reality show that she was discovered on, she was on this reality show called Making the Band 3. I watched every single last one of the series of that season, of those seasons, okay, because there was multiple Making the Bands, okay. But in this Making the Band 3, Diddy put together a group called Danity Kane. Danity Kane also had not only just Don Richard, but also the likes of Aubrey O'Day and others as well. Okay. But nonetheless, yeah, this is how they were found, right? Oh, and then the other thing too, didn't get to mention this before, and I'm going to tell you what, trying to give you guys updates on this is going to be a little tough with the lack of internet, but I'll give you guys the update now. Obviously, Aubrey O'Day is not testifying. It will not be testifying at all. Why she gave everybody that kind of idea that she was going to testify, I don't know. But she is not testifying at all. She has not been subpoenaed, but she happened to be in New York at the most convenient time during this particular trial. But I will also say we have 7 more weeks. Anything's possible. 7 more weeks of testimony. So anything is possible. The feds might pull her up out of nowhere as a Hail Mary. You never know. And I will also say this, Kalina could also be called in to testify on Diddy's behalf. Yes, I said it. She could literally come in and speak out on behalf for Diddy. Okay? So he might be like, yo, I spent a lot of money for you to make that statement, but I need you to do a little bit more. It's possible. It's very possible. Here's the other thing, too. I thought about this, too. You got to remember, this is a guy who obviously loves to control people. So, of course, he's going to sit there and make sure that these artists that are under his label and all that, he's going to make sure that they're always broke. He's going to make sure that they're always trying to find the monies. Why? Because then he can use them at his disposal for anything. To cover himself up, etc. Right? So anything is possible with him, especially when it comes to these artists. You don't think that Kalina Harper is in dire need of some money? Think about that for a second. She's in dire need of some money, y'all. You really think? There's some information about even Dawn here, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. You don't think that he would sit there and go, hey, I know you needed some extra scratch. Dirty Money had a few songs back in the early 2000s, and that's it. So how about if I just give you a couple figures? What do you say? You don't think that Kalina is sitting there going, I'll take the money over justice any day? Think about that. You also got to remember, Kalina Harper was not in Danity Kane. Let me just say that too. Dawn Richard was in that group. They had some successful hits, like 2, okay? But she was also in need of some money. She's also in need of cash. Why? Because, probably Diddy, used them, bamboozled them, taking all their damn money. Just something to think about, guys. It's something to think about. Nonetheless, it's something to think about, all right? Again, using his privilege, his financial influence to sway or use these particular artists at his disposal like this, it's just another tactic. I know it's not a whole bunch of freak-off tapes like what he did to Cassie, but at the same time, it's another way to keep somebody on your side and on your team. But moving on, Combs then briefly formed a trio with himself, Dawn Richard, and Kalina Harper. The same year, it was announced that Danity Kane broke up. So that lasted until roughly 2012. And then she released a solo album called Golden Heart the next year. And from my understanding, I didn't listen to that album. No disrespect. But I didn't listen to that album. Okay. So clearly it wasn't as successful. But moving on, Cassie told to wait her turn for album. Combs employees didn't stop the attacks. This is what Dawn said. So Combs would angrily tell his then girlfriend Cassie to quote unquote wait for her turn when it comes to a recording an album. When Richard would support Cassie's musical aspirations, Diddy, quote unquote, didn't like me talking with her about that, Dawn said. He said it would be on his terms. It was always wait. She had to wait for her turn. Sometimes it was just wait your turn. Other times it was violent or volatile, she said. The witness, Dawn, also said numerous employees of Diddy's and his Bad Boy Records witnessed his violence against Cassie, and no one stepped in. I mean, we've already heard a million times about bodyguards and the like not willing to do whatever they could to protect Cassie when she was getting attacked in broad daylight by the diddler. That's insane, right? So Dawn's testimony could help bolster the prosecution's narrative that Diddy committed racketeering conspiracy by using his multifaceted business empire to coerce and control women for the sex. Again, we're seeing more and more that it'll be like, hey, Cassie gets attacked, and then the guys that are there for security would turn a blind eye. They would completely ignore, not even see what's going on, not even give a damn. They would just go off and do their thing, or they'll just sit there and close the door behind them as Diddy is doing all these crazy things. And I'm going to say this too. Aren't they security? Aren't they there for security? Aren't they there for protection? So what the hell is this, right? For these allegations to actually be out here, I'm surprised that none of these other guys are catching charges. Okay? All these other security guards, bodyguards, and the like, for them to sit here and not do anything is insane. That's insane. Okay. Prosecutors returned to questioning about Diddy's substance use, which of course is a big topic here as well, or rather his offers of substances to other people while Dawn was on the stand. So Dawn testified that Diddy would have a dealer named One Stop deliver a range of substances at the recording studio, including yayo and that Mary Jane. She also told the court that Diddy or his assistants would carry a Louis Vuitton pouch filled with narcotics. Now, what's interesting about this is we've heard a lot of allegations about him walking around with like a fanny pack, and it would just all be filled with party favors. And now we're hearing that same thing over here too, that he would be running around with a fanny pack filled with party favors, right? Interesting. Cassie referred to the Louis V pouch as his med bag during her testimony last week. Prosecutors then asked if Dawn ever saw a weapon while with Diddy. Dawn said she saw firearms a few times and that Diddy's bodyguards had them and they held them in their lower back. So, but at the same time, if they're bodyguards and if they have a license to carry and they're bodyguards, then it would make sense that they would have those weapons on them, right? But the fact that she is sitting there saying she has seen him holding a weapon, holding a pew-pew a few times is a big deal. Let's not forget the weapons that Cassie even said he had in his safe and the things that the feds found when they did that raid. They found all kinds of weapons sawed off, with the serial numbers all sanded off, right? All scrubbed off the weapons as well. It's all a bad look, okay? These, AR weapons, etc. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for the diddler. Long story short. So Dawn ended her direct examination by saying she's quote unquote seeking justice in hopes of inoculating Dawn against defense. In hopes of inoculating Dawn against defense claims that she'd be biased against Diddy due to her federal lawsuit against the music mogul. The prosecution asked the witness, Diddy, what she hopes to gain from this testimony. So they asked, what are you expecting? If she was expecting any quote unquote compensation for your testimony. She says, I'm expecting justice. That's what she said in her testimony. Now, one of the other attorneys for Diddy, Nicole Westmoreland, began a cross-examination of Dawn and picked up where the prosecution left off, especially in the conversation about Dawn's lawsuit against Diddy. And I'm telling you right now, this is the one main reason why I think that they're going to be focusing on this, because they're going to say she was in dire need of money. You needed that money. You wanted money. He maybe didn't want to give you money. So you're angry about this. You see an opportunity where he's about to get destroyed. So you file your lawsuit so that maybe you can scoop up a bag real quick on top of everything that just transpired with these lawsuits from the feds, etc. I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what they're going to do. That's what they're going to try to do. This is what they did with Cassie as well. Oh, you didn't have any albums. You only had one. Is it really because he was blocking you from doing it? Or is it really because you don't have talent? This is literally what they said in so many words with Cassie. It's the same situation where I feel like they're going to try to go after Dawn and basically say, hey, you were hoping to have a solo career. You were hoping to have more success in your career and you never got it. So that got you salty. And that's why we're here. Are we correct? You see what I'm saying? It's the crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's those crazy allegations like that. All right. And, and again, I get that some people feel some type of way about Cassie. It is up to your interpretation. If you think she has the talent, okay. If she has the moxie for stardom, that's up to y'all. But you can't deny what we saw in that video in that hotel. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she's the most talented person in the world or if has the least amount of talent in the world. It doesn't matter. What we saw in that video, bad. What we heard in the very beginning with that security guard saying that he walked in and there was another S worker in there and she really was running away because she was trying to get away from a freak off, that's bad. That has nothing to do with talent. That's just right or wrong. Period. He can't escape that. That part he can't escape. So again, it's going to be bad news bears for the diddler. Let's move on. So of course they're going to ask her exactly right, like they're picking up where prosecution left off, right? So the defense, Diddy's lawyers, asked Dawn, was she aware there was a pending motion to dismiss her lawsuit, a standard practice with civil lawsuits? But Dawn said she didn't know. Defense then began a line of questioning in an attempt to undermine Dawn's testimony last week that she witnessed Diddy attack Cassie with a skillet. Defense asked if Dawn's allegations have, quote unquote, changed over time. Defense said that in a letter sent to Diddy, Dawn alleged that she, quote unquote, heard a pan hit the wall, but didn't see it. Dawn responded to the series of questions that she wasn't aware or didn't recall what the defense was referencing to. Now, I will say this. Maybe she didn't want to incriminate herself or put her at the scene of the crime. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Her sending a letter to Diddy being like, I saw you hit her with that skillet. What if she didn't want to say that she saw because she was scared of what kind of outcome would come from that? If she was to say that she saw a skillet connect to anywhere on Cassie's body. Think about it. Maybe she didn't want to say anything. Maybe she didn't want to say anything because she didn't want to get herself in trouble. That's possible. Because imagine if she did say, I saw you use that skillet on Cassie. You don't think Diddy would turn to her and go, he did already threaten her life a couple times already, allegedly, right? So again, something to think about. A question. Questions that I have, y'all. Questions that I have. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah. So again, interesting stuff, right? Let's continue on, though. So defense tried to poke holes in Dawn's claims that Diddy attacked Cassie with a skillet of eggs. So defense suggested in her questions that Dawn has told different variations and different versions of this 2009 incident, including one that simply had Diddy just throwing eggs at Cassie, which is still wrong. Don't throw eggs at people. What the hell's wrong with you? Ain't that the food he was supposed to eat in the first doggone place? He said, where's my food? And then he goes over to, and she's sitting there going, I'm cooking it right now, baby. He goes over and picks up the skillet in which the food that he's about to eat is in and uses that allegedly as a weapon on her. I mean, come on, man. Like, and eggs are pretty easy and pretty quick to cook. He could have waited 2 more seconds, but no, because he's a butthole. He grabbed that skillet and tried to hurt her. Real talk. He could have waited. And he didn't have to be so mad. Damn. So Dawn told jurors on Friday, last week, that she saw Diddy attack Ventura with the actual skillet. All right. So defense reminds Dawn that she's under oath and then asked if she's changed her story over time. Dawn responded, I said the best I could recall. So now, of course, people are going to be wondering, is she telling the truth? Is Dawn lying? Is she making things up solely because she feels some type of way and she wants to scoop a bag and gain a bag from Diddy as well? Because she might feel some type of way of not being utilized as a star that she may believe that she is, stuff like that, right? You didn't want to sign me. You didn't want to give me another chance at a solo career, blah, blah, blah. There may be animosity towards that. That's a possibility, right? But we'll see. Let's see. Combs' defense is attempting to catch inconsistencies in Dawn's direct testimony, this time with the allegation that Diddy said to her that people go missing. I mean, that is a very big deal. For one to sit there and say, Diddy told me to my face, yeah, people go missing. That's some serious stuff, man. Okay. So he told her people go missing and that they could pass away, perish, after witnessing a fight between him and Cassie. See, so you hear that, right? You see that on the screen. And then, of course, the defense is sitting there going, well, actually, you wrote a letter to Diddy saying that you heard the skillet being thrown, that you didn't see him actually hit her with the skillet. You really think she's going to write a letter to Diddy going, I seen it, after him sitting here saying people go missing and actually people will be unalived after witnessing something between me and my girl Cassie? I'm not going to sit there and say that. I'll be like, yeah, we kind of heard something. We heard a skillet. We heard something metal hit the wall. But that's it. That's it, Diddy. That's it, Mr. Combs. You know what I'm saying? You really think they're going to go out of their way to say even more crazy stuff? Yeah, I saw it. No, I don't know about you, but if they really believe that he could sit there and go, you will disappear. If you saw any of that, you will disappear. You're going to be like, no, didn't see nothing. In fact, I was looking at birds outside. I was like, oh, is that a cockatoo? Oh my gosh. Is that a swallow? Pause. But you know what I'm saying? Just saying, you're not going to go, I saw it. Come on now. I didn't see a damn thing. I went blind. Something happened. Something got disconnected from my brain to my eyeballs. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see a damn thing. Yeah, I was out. I was stargazing. Exactly, Tipsy. You know what I mean? I was out there looking at the moon and the stars and the trees. You know what I'm saying? You're not going, oh yeah, I saw it all. After he said, I will unalive you. People end up missing when they see things like this. You feel me? Nah, okay? I need to get rid of all the pizza boxes and the plastics. You feel me? You're not saying anything. You went blind. Moving on. Defense pulled up interviews Dawn had with prosecutors in October and also in March, where she also recounted the same incident with a skillet. So the defense points out, Dawn said in the interview that Combs said this was a love thing. I would stop it. Stop. Come on, stop it. This was a love thing. You remember how they started this whole trial? Their opening statement was, it's about love, right? It's about love. I hit the wrong button, but it's about love, right? So this was a love thing with no mention of people going missing in her interview. She says that's not true. I don't recall not saying that. So you didn't tell prosecutors that Diddy said people go missing. This is what the defense continues saying. She says, I didn't remember it. Everything I'm telling you right now. So she later stating that she remembers everything that she's telling the jury and telling the courtroom right now as we speak. And you got to remember there are some times when you may not remember something and then suddenly out of nowhere you're like, oh, I do remember. Whoa, he did say I'd go missing if I said anything. But also at the same time, we got to sit on the other side of the fence really quick. She could be making this up just to try to bury Diddy as well. And that is a possibility. She could be making this stuff up as much as she can because she wants to see him go down. That's it. That's still a strong possibility, y'all. So the defense challenged Dawn's testimony about weapons and substances she allegedly saw in Diddy's possession, inferring that her memories only recently came to light. So now, see what I'm saying? So now they're going, how convenient that you are now coming up with all this BS, all these allegations, which we believe to be BS. You suddenly, all of a sudden, have an epiphany, a moment of clarity where you remember everything. But when you were getting interviewed 2 different times several months ago, you were singing a completely different tune. And not once did you mention these things that you're mentioning right now on the stand. And let me remind you, you are under oath, right? Under direct examination earlier on Monday, Dawn detailed the times she saw Diddy with pew-pews and illegal substances. So defense asked Dawn why the witness didn't mention pew-pews, the weapons, in 8 meetings with prosecution. Oh my damn. Oh my damn. You see what they're trying to do? They're also trying, and she's kind of painting herself in a corner. Real talk. You had 8 meetings with prosecution. I'm going to call it. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh, how dare you? How dare you just take the defense's side and blah. But I'm going to tell you right now, when things get really messed up and things are bad, doesn't matter what side it is, I'm going to call it out. Sorry, but this is bad. She might have lied. She might be lying. Remember, defense asked Dawn Richard, why the witness didn't mention weapons in 8 meetings with prosecutors. So she says it wasn't asked. Now, that could very well be true. That could very well be true that it wasn't asked, or she could just suddenly out of the blue remember, or she could be lying, y'all. Son of a gun. Ain't that about to shut your mouth? I'm just saying. That's pretty crazy, okay, to say the least. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I know. That sounded like a Muppet. Oh, how dare you? Oh man, you know what I mean? How dare you say that? Let me get some of these super chats really, really quick. Actually, let me just go back to this real quick. I'm gonna finish up this little update here. Okay, so it wasn't asked. That's what she says. All right, 8 meetings with the feds. Not once did she say anything about the pew-pews. That's bad. Also, under direct examination on Monday, today, Dawn said she saw Diddy taking the K, okay, that yayo, and the M. I can't say. I need to find a different code word for that. Molly with the Dabber Ranch. I don't know. I'm just trying to have fun with it. But you know what I'm saying. All right. So she says she saw him taking this stuff on the reg. So defense asked her if she's changed her story after previously telling the feds that she hadn't seen him with the yayo. She says, yes, as time progresses, I get better at knowing what went on because it was quite a long time ago. So in the very beginning, she's like, I don't remember him doing this. I don't remember him doing any of that. But I do remember this now. But then suddenly, as she thinks about things later on, she's like, oh, no, I do remember this. You never know. She might be like, I remember him doing that because I did it with him. That could be it too. I remember him doing it because he was offering it to me and I did it with him. That's possible. Okay. But real quick, let me get some of these super chats real quick. And again, I appreciate everybody being here. It really means the world to me. Okay. Real quick, I am quite curious about where we are in as far as the likes. Wow. Am I losing my mind? Hold on. This cannot be true. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Because I am quite curious where we are with the likes. Where we at? Oh, come on. Okay. Do me a favor, guys. Okay. As we continue, all right. As we proceed to give you what you need, all right. Please do me a solid. Oh, my Lord. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Can we get it to 1K? Can we just get it to 1K quickly, real quick? Just get it to 1K. I see a gang y'all in here. I appreciate you guys being here for the updates and the live updates here in just a moment. But please do me a favor, do me that solid. Hit that like button down below. Let's get it past 1K real quick. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, okay? Hit that subscribe button, subscribe. If you want to, hit that join button down below, become a member, just like hello, I'm here. Welcome to the family. Please, just like hello, I'm here, hit that join button down below, become a member, please, and thank you, okay? Dog Mom, thank you so much for the love. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad you're okay. Love your comments and your community. Aw, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love what I do, and it's always a pleasure being here, even when I don't have internet. But, this is why you say, family over everything all day long. Real talk. Okay. I'm lucky to have a amazing family. Real talk. And we are all okay. So again, thank you so much, Dog Mom. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for becoming a member as well. Thank you. Many blessings to you and everybody else as well. Thank you so much for the super chats. Let's see. Black Anonymous. I heard Gene Deal is in the courtroom. Uh-oh. If that's true. And if that's true, man, he wants to be in there. He wants to get questioned. He's like, please give me the subpoenas. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean? Give me the subpoena. He probably is doing that. Damn right. He wants to tell the story. He's got stories to tell too. I mean, shout out to Art of Dialogue. Real talk. Shout out to Art of Dialogue for his amazing coverage over all of this. And Gene Deal has been all up in and all up on that channel, just dropping crazy bombshell after bombshell. So again, it's much appreciated. And I'm sure he's definitely chomping at the bit to come through and talk. CT, thank you so much, bro. They destroyed Dawn. She lied like 13, 15 times. Yeah, I feel like that's what's going to be the issue. I think a lot of people are going to be wondering if she was actually telling the truth, right? If she's fabricating anything just to take him down, right? Let's see. Is D-Rock going to appear? I would love for, that's the thing. I don't know about D-Rock. Maybe he will. Maybe D-Rock will show up and talk. That's a possibility, but I don't know, right? Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Let's see here. Let me just get one more. April, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. This trial is over. Oh, this trial's all over the place, ain't it? Yeah, it really is. I'm going to be real. And I got one more. Marissa, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have an amazing day, Chad and Pascal. Thank you so much, Marissa. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, this trial is like, it definitely is all over the place. Okay, for sure. I am still kind of curious as to what I'm kind of curious what's the Fed's goal here? Like what's the goal here? What's the goal here? I'm hoping that gets kind of figured out here very, very soon. Because again, they just brought Dawn on. And from what we're hearing right now, there's a lot of things that have not been entirely solid. And there's some things are very faulty. So I'm waiting to see what the story is here, right? What's really going on. So we'll see here soon. But it is weird. I will say that. Prosecution right now, their best stuff was last week so far. As far as that scared the crap out of me. I'm sorry. I got two dogs like underneath my feet. I'm not kidding. I got like two dogs, and out of nowhere, I didn't realize that they were under my feet, and then one of them just moved right under my feet. Excuse me, buddy. Let me move my feet, okay? Hi. What's going on, my buddy? Yeah, I got two dogs underneath me. I'm not kidding. So that scared the crap. I'm like, what the hell is that? But anyway, as I was saying, I think as far as prosecution goes, they have a lot of work to do. But I think their best stuff so far was with Cassie. Their best stuff so far was that security guard that showed up. Obviously, the S worker that they had come in as well. That all happened last week. Now, it's still Monday. It's still the start of the week. There's a lot of days coming ahead. So it's going to be very interesting when all this comes together. Okay. They're still, they're getting everybody in there as best as they can, but we'll see if this falls apart in real time. We'll see. But this stuff, I could see where people are going to be side-eyeing Dawn now because of the multitude of meetings, interviews that she's had with prosecution, and it still hasn't. She wasn't mentioning certain things like weapons. Okay, that's some really important stuff. And you'd think that the feds would turn to her and be like, did you see any weapons? You see what I'm saying? Especially if they're trying to get him on RICO charges, racketeering charges. Like, let's be real. You'd think that they would ask her those questions in the several meetings that they had with her. So that is kind of bad. That's not great. So her cross-examination moved into her career with Diddy, which included her work with Danny Duquesne and Dirty Money. The singer confirmed that though she was scared of Diddy, she asked to work with him again. Now, let me just say this really quick. I can see how people are looking at this and going, oh, damn, that's not good, right? I can see how some people are taking that and can look at that and go, wait, if she's so scared of him and if he's such a monster, why would she be willing to go back and work with him again? That seems a little bit sus, right? Right? I can see it. I can see that being sus. But if you also know that this is the only person that is the source to money, to more money in regards to the career that you have, and they have control over your career, I guess in a way you have no other choice but to reach out to him and be like, man, I really don't like this dude. I really don't want to mess with this dude, but F it. Please, could we talk? Could we work on another album or work on a song because I need to make money? That's possible. Again, tranquilo. Oh, chill. These dogs are, I appreciate when they're protecting the home. But at the same time, back to the conversation, at the same time, I can see why she would do something like that, right? He's the source of money. He's the hookup. He has the power. They don't. Dawn doesn't, right? So something to think about for sure. All right. So moving on. What was blah, blah, blah. Okay. So she was scared, but then she asked him to work with him again. So prosecution brought up the hundreds of thousands of records Dawn sold while with both groups. So she confirmed that she asked Diddy to sign her as a solo artist in 2011, which would have been the end of her time with Dirty Money. But Diddy denied her that opportunity to be a solo artist in 2011. She also said she asked to work with Diddy as recently as 2020 and 2021. You felt like Diddy ruined your career not once, but twice? The defense asked, and she responded with Yes. Jeez Louise. This is okay. So Dawn says she repressed memories of Diddy due to this trauma that she went through. So federal prosecutor picked up the questioning, okay, following a tough cross-examination where defense attorneys attempted to undermine Dawn's testimony by pointing out inconsistencies in her retelling of events. So prosecution asked whether Dawn had thought about the incidents a lot over the decades since she witnessed them. She says, no, it was a hard time. It was a hard time, a bad time for me. It did not all come back immediately. The environment was traumatizing. So I tried to erase those things from my memory. By speaking with investigators, Dawn said that more memories came to her every day and that she tries to relay things as best and as accurate as I can, she confirmed. And as best and as accurate as she can. She confirmed that she did not tell the government that she saw Diddy attacking Cassie and that he threatened her to keep quiet during several meetings. So, sorry. She confirmed that she did tell the government about Cassie getting attacked by Diddy and how Diddy threatened her about keeping quiet about these attacks at several encounters with Diddy after the fact, right? So Dawn testified that she, quote unquote, had no doubt that Diddy tried to attack Cassie, or that Cassie went into a fetal position, or that Diddy dragged her by the stairs by her hair. She also said she had no doubt that Diddy threatened Dawn to keep quiet. Now, of course, that's going to be up to, and of course, there's a drawing of everything inside. Dawn right there talking about everything, testifying. And of course, what's kind of crappy about this situation, this is all going to rely on, this is all going to rely on the jurors. The jurors are going to have to look at this. They're going to have to check and see if what she's saying is 110% ironclad. Because right now, you just saw defense just kind of poked some holes in there in her testimony. So, but at the same time, potential holes in her story, in her testimony. Because you got to remember, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to sit there and go, well, if she can't remember everything, how can we trust her that she's telling the truth after all of this? Now she's saying, oh yeah, I remember him with the pew pew now. And it's like, well, you've had many opportunities to talk about this with the feds. And now this is all coming to light now? It's just interesting. Doesn't mean that she's lying, but it also doesn't mean that she's telling the truth either. Just saying. Another round of cross-examination, Dawn admitted she tried to work with Diddy again, despite her allegations that the music mogul engaged in violence and substance use. So the defense lawyer ticked off the number of performances, writing sessions, travel, and career talks Dawn would have to engage in with Diddy, despite the bad acts she had allegedly seen. So, defense said, you spend a lot of time together. You would spend a lot of time together, even though he made these types of threats, like, unaliving threats. She said yes. When pressed about her lawsuit against Diddy, she said, I want justice and to be made whole. So, and when defense asked if that meant being paid money, she responded by saying yes. She wants that monies. Now, they get done with the cross, they do all that, and now they're in the place where Carrie Morgan, the best friend, comes into the conversation. Now, she jumps into the group chat here, and we're going to look at that here in just a minute. But I do want to share with y'all. And what's interesting is I was trying to find the New York Times live coverage of this, and I have yet to find it, which is very weird because usually they have like a whole. They've been doing some great coverage as well, but for some odd reason, I have not found the live coverage from the New York Times, which is a little bit of an annoying situation. But hold on, let me just see something here real quick. Let me just check something here real quick. Then that ain't it either. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's see here. Yeah, I was wondering if I actually was wondering if there was going to be live posts from the New York Times, but I have yet to see it, which is interesting. Which is very, very interesting. But nonetheless, I'll look for that. I'll look into that a little bit later. So let's get into the questions that Dawn had. And then, of course, we're going to get more up to date because right now on the stand is Carrie Morgan, the former ex-best friend of Cassie. So, of course, we're going to be looking at that here in a little bit. But there were so many names that were dropped. That's one thing that's why I was looking for the New York Times one, because New York Times is a little bit more. They give us a little bit more information, is a little bit more descriptive. But I've been looking for it, and I can't find that to save my life for some strange reason. But nonetheless, hold on, I'm just rolling back a tiny bit. Okay, so let's blow this up a little bit bigger for you guys to see this. So again, we're gonna be looking at a bunch of things, and just so you guys know, just for those who are just getting in here, okay. We're obviously this is day 6 in Diddy's trial. Clearly there is a lot still going on. All right. Dawn Richard just got done, or just a few hours ago, got done with her testimony. It was very interesting. I think that there are some potential holes in her testimony, unfortunately, but that's what this is all about, right? For them to come forward, do their thing, and talk. Do I believe everything that Dawn Richard said? I don't know. I really don't. You're talking about things that have to rely solely on memory. And yes, memory can be amazing, but also memory can be really bad. And then also at the same time, memory can also be biased as hell. Let me just say that again. Memory can be biased as hell. You might remember something, but you only remember it in the way that you want to remember it, not the actual facts. That is one thing that's unfortunate when it comes to memory. And especially when she comes up and says, yeah, I saw all this stuff. And, Diddy put his paws on her. He used a skillet that had eggs in it and all that stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, he had a pew-pew and he had substances too. And it's like, wait a second. Are you sure? Because you didn't say that before. And now you're saying it now. The multitude of interviews that he had with the feds, you did not say it not once in those interviews. So why are you bringing it up now? Is it because you just want to take him down even more? Because it might look good for your lawsuit that you have going against him right now, your civil lawsuit and all that. Again, the defense is doing their job, asking questions and trying to poke holes in her narrative. And they did that. There are definitely holes. And again, like I said, I just call like I see it. Doesn't matter what side I think. Doesn't matter if I think he should be buried under the prison or not. It does not matter. At the end of the day, boom. If they come out with questions and there's holes, I'm going to call it. And there's holes, most definitely. Now it's going to be up to the jury to decide whether or not Dawn is there because she's telling the truth or she's not, which is unfortunate. But let's go into inner city press. Again, first off, shout out to inner city press because they've been doing a lot of great work, or he's been doing a lot of great work with just the live tweets and everything. So let's take a look at this. So jury enters. Okay. So then, of course, this is prosecution with Dawn just starting off from where they left off from Friday afternoon. So they're starting this first thing Monday morning today. It says, when Mr. Combs told you people could go missing, how did you interpret that? That people could pass away, or, you got to use these code words. I couldn't believe that this could be the beginning of a journey for us. So she says, as Diddy Dirty Money? And she says, yes. So what did you observe? He would drag her, use his feet, use his hands, okay, hit her in the mouth, okay? Prosecution says, would you prompt these acts of violence? So then defense says, objection. Judge says, overruled. When she would speak up for herself. So they're asking, like, what would prompt these actual acts? Like, why would Cassie get attacked? So then that's when Dawn says, when she would speak up for herself. So who in security witnessed these things? D-Rock and Roger Bonds. Prosecution says, where did she actually get attacked at? She says, her knees, her face, all over. Did there come a time you were in New York for a festival? She says, yes, Central Park. In the residence, what happened? He punched her. She came into the bathroom crying. You could see her upset, like she was just hurt. And then defense says objection again. Judge says sustained. What injuries did you observe? Dawn says a swollen eye. Why do you remain with Cassie after this incident? I wanted her to feel supported. So they, I guess, are pulling something up. What's this? Because the Central Park event. It's a photo of her in sunglasses, and Dawn is wearing sunglasses as well. She says, prosecution says, why did you wear them? She says, out of solidarity, out of support. The next attack, who was there? Again, D-Rock's name is mentioned again. Capricorn Clark, Harvey Pierre. Who was Mr. Pierre? I guess at Bad Boy answering to Diddy. Did they do anything? None of us did anything. When we drove back, she goes, when we drove back to LA, he slapped her in the mouth and told her to shut the F up. How did the passengers respond? They stayed quiet, silent the rest of the ride. Yeah, I mean, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? Call the cops, actually. Let's just keep that a bean. But moving on, you got to remember, security guards are there. You got security guards there. You got all types of personnel in the ride, driving back from a gig, and they did nothing. Did nothing. Just sat there and just drove back in silence, y'all. Absolute silence, which is insane. Moving on. So I asked myself, she says this, I asked myself, if he did that to someone who he supposedly loved, what would he do to an employee? So I'd approach Diddy with softness. See what I'm saying? So she'd send those letters basically saying like, oh yeah, I think I heard a skillet hit the wall. She wouldn't sit there and go, I seen it. I seen what you did. You're a monster. You know what I mean? She ain't going to sit there and say any of that. Hell to the no. She's going to approach him with kid gloves because she doesn't want to be a part of that problem, right? She don't want no problem with him. Did you try to intervene in the relationship? She says, no, for my own safety. See, again, why would she hop in? If she knows that he's volatile and dangerous, and if he's sitting there going, people go missing, yeah. Why? Why would anybody want to be a part of this ish? Real talk. Insane if you want to be. No. I can understand that. Definitely. If you got somebody who's this powerful, man, I'm out. Send an anonymous tip to the police. You see what I'm saying? Did you see Diddy using substances? She says, yes, that Mary Jane, that K, that Molly Molly with the Dabble Ranch, and that Yayo. They say opiates? That, she says, that I never saw. Who brought him the substances? This guy by the name of One Stop. He had it all, including Plan B, birth control. Whoa. That's insane. How convenient, though, right? I got that Plan B. I got that BC. You feel me? That's crazy. Did you see Diddy use pew-pews? Yes, handguns on his lower back. Who asked? I guess that he's trying to say who else had weapons? Security, D-Rock, Bonds, Roger Bonds. All right. What did you do after Bad Boy? Sing. Whenever I got momentum, I'd get a FaceTime from him. Ooh. How would you speak to him? Very soft. I'd always call him bro. Interesting. I'd always call him brother. He's my brother. I love him so much. He's my brother. Shout out to Diddy. He's like my big bro. You see what I'm saying? That's crazy though. Why did you not disclose the attacks you'd seen? I was told not to by Diddy and Harvey Pierre, y'all. When did you speak out? Last year in 2024. I saw Cassie take the stand and tell the truth. Then defense says, objection. Judge says sustained. Did you see Cassie file a civil lawsuit and then file your own? She said yes. Then they cross, okay? Or cross, judge says. So, well, yeah. So they get done. So now they're about to cross. Defense says, you are aware there's a motion to dismiss your lawsuit. She says, I have civil lawyers. You sat with the prosecutors and your allegations changed. She says, I've been consistent. You testified he attempted to attack her about the eggs and Cassie dropped down in a fetal position, right? She says, yes. Did you ever say you heard a pan hit the wall, that you didn't see it? She says, I don't recall. Would you agree with me? It has been hard for you to keep your story straight with respect to this egg incident. She says, I told it as close as I could. The day after you say Diddy said people go missing, right? She says, yes. Let's do, let's go to your interview on March 18th, 2025. You didn't say anything about Diddy telling you people go missing. I don't recall. No worries. I'm just going to show you the document for the parties only. Page 5. So they're like, oh, you think, okay, no worries, baby. We got receipts. Let's pull up page 5, right? Isn't it true the first time you said this was last week or was a week ago? Would you like me to show you your previous interviews? I know what I said. You said Diddy made a death threat, one that you didn't recall 7 different times. Let's move to the alleged incident before the Central Park concert. You are aware there was a camera crew. She says, not in the bathroom. You were filmed in the park. Are you aware if the video has been turned over? She says, no. About the pew-pews, about the bang-bangs. Okay. You didn't tell prosecutors about it. That you saw weapons at Diddy's house. They didn't ask. You never saw Diddy pull a weapon out and wave it around, load bullets in, or cock it. He just had it. Did you tell the government you ever saw Mr. Combs do yayo? I don't recall. Your testimony has changed quite a few things. As time progresses, I remember more. You saw One Stop, the dealer, sell substances. You saw him take money. Am I right? Yes. All right, 1 second. Didn't you tell the government you never saw anyone pay him? So you lied, right? No, I didn't lie. Sidebar. So they go into a sidebar for a little bit. Back from sidebar. It was you who reached out to Diddy to work with him again, right? Dawn says yes. But he had threatened you, right? You asked him to work with you again? Dawn says yes. Defense says, okay. Coming back, the songs you released on your own have not reached the level of what you reached with Danny DeCane and with Diddy Dirty Money, right? That's true. You reached out to Diddy to try to make more money with him, right? Yes. So then, of course, prosecution says, can we have a short sidebar? So they have another sidebar. And like I said, see what they're trying to paint? They're basically trying to paint that Dawn is trying to everything she can to make money. That this has nothing to do with justice, that she wants money. And that's it. Now, the things that she says in her testimony, now, again, let's just be completely real, okay? And look at both sides of the fence here. There's a possibility that there's a possibility that she is saying exactly the truth, that she didn't remember everything, that things slowly but surely started to creep back into her memory. That is still a good possibility. There's a possibility of that, guys. But there's also a possibility in what they're trying to do, which, of course, poke holes in her narrative, which it definitely is there, all right? They're also trying to say, like, yo, you did not have success without Diddy. So why, you went back to Diddy? Why would you go back to somebody who is so dangerous and so monstrous and so volatile? Why would you go back to the likes of somebody like Diddy? Why? But then at the same time, it's like, well, you wanted to go with a solo career. You didn't get that solo career because he didn't want to grant you that access. So you feel salty. You feel like you're allotted a certain amount of money. So that's why you're here too. That this is just a grudge. This has nothing to do with justice. This has nothing to do with what you really saw. You could be making this stuff up solely because you feel some type of way. And that's it. And that's exactly what the defense is trying to paint right now. Are they correct? I don't know. But it is something interesting nonetheless, right? Somebody just asked this. I'm going to say this too. James or Genera? Hold on. Where the hell did it go? There it is. There it is. Genera said, do you think Diddy will walk? Hell no. Nah, he ain't walking. He ain't walking. Do I think he's going to get charged, found guilty on racketeering and RICO? So far, I don't think so. But like I said, we still got 7 weeks. This is still day 6 of a 8-week trial. This is the second week of an 8-week trial. So we still have a whole week left and then 6 more weeks after this. Anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. But do I think that, like, off of what we saw so far, yeah, I think he'll be found guilty on STing, on pros. But right now, racketeering, RICO, I haven't seen that yet. I have not seen that yet. Okay, but we'll see. We will see. They're just getting warmed up, y'all. They're still like stretching, not trying not to pull a hammy right now. You feel me? So we'll see what happens. But Dawn, I was hoping for her testimony to be a little bit stronger than this, and this is not as strong as I thought it'd be. Okay, because it does look a little sketchy that she wasn't saying certain pieces of information. At least that's what they're saying in this. As far as Cross, that there were certain things that she did not say to prosecution, which would be huge information to put out there during her meetings and during her questioning with prosecution way before. Okay, it's been well documented. And then all of a sudden she comes up, she's like, yeah, now I remember all of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? And that I could see being something that could backfire on Dawn's side, period. But everybody else, we'll see, right? So again, some people are going to look at this. I feel like jurors are going to look at this and side-eye this situation as well and feel like this is some sort of grudge, that Dawn is just a grudge, that she just wants revenge, and that she wants to make a bag. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So moving back. So they're back from the sidebar. So they're redirecting. So this is prosecution. Why did you file your civil lawsuit? Dawn said, when I worked for Combs, I had no sleep, the conditions. In every meeting with the government, did you say that Diddy attacked Cassie? She says yes. Why did you reach out to Diddy? One of the judges on Making the Band, Lorianne Gibson, I wanted to reach out. I think Lorianne Gibson was isn't she the choreographer? I think she was the Boom Cat. I think that's her. Is that her? Boom Cat, that girl? Boom Cat. Anyway, I think that's her, right? But anyway, okay, so I wanted to reach out. So then, of course, defense says objection. They say sustained. How often did you hear from Diddy after you left Dirty Money? She says sporadic. Why did you reach out? To help Kalina Harper. What? Help her out? Say what? Oh, so that Lorianne, I'm right. Lorianne Gibson is the Boom Cat girl. Okay. She'd be like, and Boom Cat. Okay. So that's the girl. All right, moving on. All right. But that's interesting because they're saying that now Dawn is saying she did that to help Kalina Harper? Okay, moving on. No further questions. So defense comes back. May we have a brief conference at the bench? Recross. Defense says, you admit you reached out to Diddy to re-engage. You claim only to have a relationship with Lori Ann Gibson, the Boom Cat girl. But if it got back together, you'd have to see Diddy more, right? She says yes. You sued for money, right? She says for justice. But the suit asked for money, though, right? Dawn says yes. No further questions. So they say no redirect. Okay. And then they go into a break. Now we're back at the Carrie Morgan stuff. Okay. So again, crazy stuff so far. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts so far? I got so many questions right now, but I am kind of curious about what's going to happen here. Okay, I'm curious as to how this is all going to be, how people are going to react to that testimony. But she's done. She's done. Is this the start of the demise of prosecution? I don't know. But anything's possible. Real quick, before we go into the Carrie Morgan situation, the ex-best friend of Cassie, because now we're going to be getting closer to getting more up to date on real time of what's going on. Okay. Before we get into that, let me just check something real quick. Ooh, that's great. Guys, please, of course, I appreciate all y'all for doing that. We got past 1K. Yes. Thank you so much. But if you can, please, let's get to 2K, okay? Okay, 2K. Let's get it. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Crush it, crush it, crush it. All right? We here. We ain't letting nothing, no Mother Nature gonna stop, okay? Can't stop. Well, can't even use that anymore. Damn. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. We don't stop. All right. We're gonna keep on covering this case and covering this trial. Even if I have to do this in a shoebox in the middle of the wilderness, okay, off the fat of the land, we gonna figure it out. So hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Crush it, do what it do. Let's get it to 2K. That would be dope as hell. Then, of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Please and thank you. The family, the YouTube channel has been growing beautifully, and I appreciate all the new subscribers, all the people that have been following this as well. We are covering this as best as we can, and as thoroughly as we can, despite all of the obstacles that I've been jumping through just to be live with you guys today. So please make sure to hit that like button down below. Let's get it to 2K. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. And real quick, Sabrina, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. That is greatly appreciated. Welcome to the family, all you new members. Okay. And like I've said a million times, hey, pay it forward if you can. Open the door for somebody. Call your loved one. You know what I mean? Call that friend you haven't talked to in a really, really long time. Sabrina just gave you some love, okay? Some positivity. Just pay it forward. That's all I ask, okay? Beautiful Disaster. Thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate it. Pascal, I'm happy you and fam are safe. You're amazing. Thank you so much. You are too. You're amazing too. Your coverage is phenomenal. Thank you so much. Please beware. Just survivors of DV and trauma also blame themselves and therefore may not speak on certain incidents. Give them grace. Yeah, you know what? You are right. You are most definitely right. I mean, let's not forget, this is somebody, Dawn could very well be a victim of attacks, DV, etc. She is also claiming that she is a victim as well. I don't think that she's the only one as well. I do think that she is a victim to a certain extent. All I'm saying is when it comes to it is game time, like a testimony, and the testimony leaves open room for all kinds of holes to be poked in, that is not great. Do I think she's lying? No, I don't think that she's lying. But at the same time, if I was sitting there unbiased, sitting as a juror, looking from the outside in, not knowing anything about this case, and seeing what she's saying to prosecution and then seeing what she's saying to defense, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of holes here, guys. I'd instantly go, whoa, maybe she's not entirely credible. I'd instantly pump the brakes. With all due respect, the brakes would be pumped instantly because I'm like, something just isn't sitting right. But like I said, I think what she went through is true. I think when it comes to the case of where she was locked up in a car, held against her will, she had to call her dad to get her out of the car. And the dad basically threatened him and her and said, basically be careful what how you act out here in these streets. Your daughter's career could go bye-bye, and stuff like that. I mean, if the father really did witness those things, I believe it. Why would the father go out of his way to lie about that kind of stuff? You feel me? So there's some certain things, like I said, that I believe, but I think her cross, the many crosses that she just did not help it wasn't super solid. Okay. But we'll see. Like I said, we got 7 more. We got 7 whole weeks left, y'all. 7 whole weeks. Hold on, real quick. We're moving on though. Okay. 24-hour Bud, I appreciate the love. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so very much. And then Annie, thank you. I wish you all the best and hope you remain safe. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Really appreciate all the super chats, guys, and super stickers, of course, and the new members as well. Okay. And Mimi, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And Honey, thank you so much. So glad you're okay. I was praying for you. Thank you so much. And yes, please keep sending out the prayers for everybody in the area that's been hit by this tornado. It's been bad, to say the least. Corey, what's up, man? Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the acknowledgement, y'all. I really do. Real talk. I appreciate the acknowledgement. It's not easy, it's not easy, especially when you got a whole setup at home and then you got to break all that down, go somewhere else to set it all up somewhere else. I mean, I had to piece this together with like bubble gum and duct tape and dental floss, but it's running and it's doing its thing. So I'm very thankful, and I'm so thankful for Wi-Fi. Have mercy. So thankful for that Wi-Fi. But let's continue on, guys. Let me get this one real quick. Chrissy Lee. Sorry, guys. This screen over here, one of the screens that I'm like reading stuff like the chat and everything, is so freaking small. Like, it is ridiculous. So thank you so much. But I got to lean in to read these things. Thank you for the awesome coverage. I would love to know what you in the chat think so far. Is he going down or no? I'm a DV survivor to the point of needing brain surgery. Wow. So I support victims. Well, first off, shout out to you. Whoops. Real talk. Shout out to you, Chrissy. You got out on the other side of the situation, and I'm so sorry you went through what you went through. And I've said it a couple times, but I appreciate you asking the question again. And I'm going to ask you guys too, and I might put up a poll here in a little bit, but I am kind of curious. What are y'all thoughts? Do you think he's in trouble or not? I think that he got a lot of explaining to do, but I do think that he's going to be found guilty on some of these charges. But I just don't. So far, like I said, we still have a long way to go. Okay, isn't that a Cassie song? Isn't it got a long way to go? Isn't that a Cassie song? Anyway, we still have a long way to go. They still have several weeks to show for feds to prove their point. But for right now, ST charges for sure. The pro charges, the ST charges for sure so far. But we got more. Okay. Dog Mom, thank you so much for loving the live so far. I appreciate it. But let's get into this. Again, we got a long way to go. Many more miles before we sleep, y'all. So let's get into this. So Carrie Morgan right here showing up definitely does not want to be. You could tell just the look on her face. She's like, I don't want to be here. But she was also attacked. Let's not forget. This is a Carrie Morgan, a former ex-best friend of Cassie Ventura. One unbelievable night, she was attacked by Diddy. Let's not forget that. Now, what was going on? Hopefully, we get down to the nitty-gritty on all that here very soon. So, former best friend, Carrie Morgan, is taking the stand, or she's currently taking the stand. Don't know if they finished up or not, but we are going to be catching up very, very quickly here in just a minute. Okay. So Carrie Morgan, the woman Cassie described as her former best friend, was called to the witness stand by the government once Dawn got done with her testimony. So Cassie testified last week that she met Morgan when she was just a teenager, and they remained close. She and Carrie Morgan remained close for about 17 years. That's a long time. That's a long time to be best friends. So her former best friend testified that the relationship ended after Diddy allegedly attacked Morgan with a wooden hanger, y'all. With a wooden mother-loving hanger. Attacked her in the head with a wooden hanger. Why? I'd like to know. But Morgan was allegedly aware of the attacks that Cassie endured from Diddy and had been around the couple regularly in the early days of their relationship when Cassie still lived in the New York of cities. Now that's crazy. So, and don't worry, we're going to be looking at the transcripts or, what Inner City Press has put out as transcripts as well. Don't worry, we're going to see that here in just a minute. Actually, let me just check something right quick before we go into the Carrie stuff. 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. Just checking something. And again, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Please and thank you. We will be doing some serious coverage all week revolving around this, okay? So don't forget, we will be doing some coverage. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, it's like New York Times is not doing any coverage. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, but that's fine. Hold on. I just want to see, because I haven't tried New York Post, but I am kind of curious to see how their coverage is. So let's see. Let's take a look at some of this New York Post. And you know what's also kind of crazy to me about this whole trial is that there's so much that we, kind of hoisted on our shoulders, people, artists, entities, businesses, record labels. And it's so sad that all of them now, we're kind of like side-eyeing a lot of that ish now too, right? We're all just side-eyeing everything, which is just kind of sad if you really think about it, okay? It's really sad. I mean, even so, now, are we finally going to start believing the likes of people like Britney Spears? Are we finally going to sit there and look into what really happened to her? Because I think a lot of things happened to that girl. My Lord. I think a lot of things happened to that girl. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, now Justin Bieber is saying, I'm not a victim. But is he really not a victim? Like, are we really sure about that? 100%? But let's take a look at this, all right? So this is the one-time best friend, okay? She has started testifying. Let's just see how their info comes out, okay? So Carrie Morgan testifies her friendship with Cassie ended after Diddy attacked her in 2018. So Carrie Morgan, the first one-time best friend of Cassie, told the court about why the pair's relationship soured. So Carrie testified that her friendship with Cassie ended after she was allegedly attacked by Diddy in 2018, which we are all knowing. Her boyfriend attacked me. This is what Carrie Morgan said, who met Cassie Ventura on modeling shoots when the pair were just in their teens. She then identified Cassie's ex as Sean Combs, pointing him out in a yellow sweater. He was wearing a Cosby sweater in the courtroom. Moving on. She describes terrifying times. The terrifying time she saw Diddy attack Cassie. She didn't move. Cassie's ex-best friend, Carrie Morgan, told jurors about the 2 times she saw Diddy allegedly attack Cassie. The first time, she said, she saw Diddy push Cassie, and she thought she also saw him put his hands on her while they were in the primary bedroom of the out of his home. Okay, and she was standing in the entryway. Afterward, Carrie left the house with Cassie, and the pair hid out in the front steps of the neighbor's house for 30 minutes. So after he attacked her, put his paws on her, they both ran out and hid at the neighbor's house, trying to get away from Diddy. A second time allegedly happened around January of 2013 when a group of friends, including Diddy, Cassie, and Carrie, were all on a trip in Jamaica. So Diddy apparently got incensed when Cassie took too long in a bathroom. 2 minutes later, I heard screaming. Carrie also added, it was terrifying. Carrie said she saw Diddy drag Cassie 10 feet along the floor before Carrie grabbed her purse in case she had to run. When she came back, Diddy was outside with Cassie. So in other words, she didn't, in case she ran. No, she ran. She definitely ran. She saw what happened. She grabbed her purse in case she had to run, but she ran because she says when she came back, that means she ran. So when she came back, Cassie and Diddy were outside. I saw him push her to the ground and she hit her head on a brick. This is what she recounted. Cassie didn't move. Carrie said that Cassie was laying in a loose fetal position with her eyes closed. I thought she was knocked out, she testified, noting Cassie appeared to be out for 20 or 30 seconds. The two women bolted and crouched in a ditch for what felt like hours as they hid away from Diddy. So he pushed her, she fell, hit her head on a brick. She basically played dead. She played possum. Carrie grabbed her, and then they ran and hid in a ditch for hours, trying to stay away from Diddy. Yeesh. Diddy tried to bust open her front door with a hammer after the infamous attack, the hotel attack. So Diddy tried to bust down the front door at the home of his then girlfriend Cassie with a hammer, following his infamous caught on video hotel attack of her. So Cassie's former best friend, Carrie Morgan, was at her home when her friend arrived with a black eye. Before Diddy showed up 30 minutes later. Let me say that again. So Carrie was at Cassie's home when Cassie arrived with a black eye. And this was 30 minutes before Diddy showed up. He was hitting the door with a hammer, trying to open it. Why would you do that? So Carrie said she was terrified when she saw Diddy through the peephole, trying to use a tool to try to break in. But Cassie looked numb, Carrie said. I was freaking out. I don't think Cassie cared if Diddy came in and unalived her, Morgan said. The scene unfolded after Diddy was caught on hotel surveillance footage, okay, viciously attacking her in that hotel. Okay. So of course she was attacked in the hotel, and this is after the hotel, right? This is after the hotel. So you'd think that he would learn his lesson and leave her the F alone after being caught in such a terrible way in that hotel. But no, it doesn't stop him. He still later is trying to attack her using a hammer, trying to break through the door to get his hands on her. Still, I get it. He's not really on trial for this, for those things, but he should. Shoot. He should be on trial for this ish. This is insane. We're going to go for more. So Diddy, attacked Cassie's best friend. So Diddy attacked, have mercy. Diddy attacked Carrie to find out whom Cassie was cheating on him with. So Diddy attacked Carrie to find out whom Cassie was cheating on him with. So she says that once in 2018, Diddy came to Cassie's apartment in Hollywood Hills and attacked her from behind. So attacked Carrie. She says he choked me. When I got up, he boomeranged a hanger at my head. So he attacks her from behind. She falls down. She gets back up. And as she's getting back up, Diddy just happens to find a wooden hanger and just throws it at her head. All because he wanted to find out who his girl, Cassie, was effing? This is ridiculous, y'all. Morgan said that Diddy left finger marks on her neck and hit her behind the ear with the wooden coat hanger. So he wanted to know who Cassie was cheating on him with. And she said, I had no idea. But he just decided to go after her and attack her. Man, he does not like women. Okay? He does not like women. Clearly, he does not like women at all. So afterwards, Carrie went to an urgent care facility and was told she had a concussion from the attack. She was dizzy, and she even threw up a few times from the actual attack, she claimed. Carrie said that she lawyered up and planned to sue, but she didn't end up bringing a civil lawsuit against him because he paid her $30,000. So she was like, how dare you? I'm going to sue you. And he goes, oh, no. How about this? I'll just give you $30,000. So Cassie met with Carrie at a pizza place in Hollywood and accused her bestie of over-exaggerating. So Cassie had Carrie sign a non-disclosure agreement, and that was the last time they ever spoke to each other. Cassie went over to Carrie and said, sign this NDA. You can't say nothing. Take this $30,000 and F off. That is just insane, y'all. That is just insane. Welcome to our world, y'all. $30,000. She gets attacked. She planned to sue. She was going to do a civil lawsuit. She ends up getting paid. Then she meets up with Cassie. And Cassie was accusing Carrie of, quote unquote, over exaggerating the story, but still had her sign an NDA. She gets her $30,000 and they never speak to each other ever again. Now, I will also say this shows to you proof positive that you have somebody that seriously has a problem. The Cassie is definitely Stockholm syndrome situation. She's clearly, willing to bend at his will. That's also because of fear as well. He broke this girl. And these are two best friends that knew each other for several years. And now, not friends anymore because Cassie decided to side with her disturbing, manipulative monster of a boyfriend, Diddy. Instead of going, You know what? The fact that he went and attacked you of all people, this is insane. How dare him? How dare he do this? But now we can do this together. We can fight him together. She doesn't do that. She says, "How dare you? You're over exaggerating. You're being dramatic. You're being such a drama queen, right? Sign this NDA and shut the hell up." Ain't that a little crazy? That's crazy. That's not even a little. That's really crazy. And now a 17-year-old friendship gone. Oh, 8 new entries. Let's see. Uh-oh, I see Michael B. Jordan in here. Uh-oh, Michael B. Jordan back in the chat again. Hold on. Michael B. Jordan back in the chat. Back in the chat. Uh-oh. Okay. So Diddy attacks her. To find out who Cassie's cheating on him with, he uses a wooden hanger, which is insane. So cross-examination starts after the lunch. So they obviously went into lunch, and now they're out of lunch. Diddy was jealous of Cassie cheating on... Sorry. Diddy was jealous of Cassie chatting with Michael B. Jordan. This is what Carrie says about Cassie. And now Michael B. Mother-loving Jordan. You know, the Sinners star, Creed, Adonis, etc., right? So Diddy was jealous of Cassie chatting with actor Michael B. Jordan. The former best friend of Cassie told jurors Cassie was speaking to Michael B. Jordan. They were not together, and Diddy was jealous. And Diddy was jealous about it. I think Cassie was trying to leave. She definitely was trying to leave. So don't worry, we got more coverage of this. So we're going to a bunch of other articles and all that. We're going to get to those here very shortly. But apparently, okay, he paid Carrie $30,000 after attacking her. And when Cassie had her sign the NDA, that was the last the friends ever spoke. So Carrie said after he attacked her and did that stuff with the hanger, she lawyered up and planned to sue, which I would too. I would definitely sue. But then she didn't end up bringing the civil claim against Diddy because he paid her $30,000. So Cassie met with her at a pizza place. I already read this. So they're just saying it again. That was the last time that they ever saw each other, and that ended that 17-year relationship, as we already talked about before. And this is what Carrie said to the jury. So she explains why they aren't friends anymore. So Carrie explained the reason why she and Cassie ended their relationship as best friends, and it's partially because the singer never reached out to her again after the Diddy attack. After Diddy attacked her, not Cassie, but Carrie, right? Carrie said that after he did all this stuff with the hanger and, blah, 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 that she didn't take her seriously enough and never called her again, that Cassie didn't take Carrie's claims serious enough, and then they never talked to each other again. I draw a line at physical A. This is what Carrie said. Cassie has also not reached out to me. Okay, she has not reached out. They've just not talked to each other. Still later, Morgan added, I don't know why she didn't reach out to me. I'm sure she doesn't have the same phone number anymore. So Diddy's former trusted assistant, David James, who allegedly helped set up the freak-offs, takes stand. This is interesting as well. And hold on, we're going to get to that. We'll get to that part. But we got to get into a little bit more of Carrie's testimony before we go into David James. But still, have mercy, y'all. Have mercy. This is very interesting. So Carrie Morgan, she says, I moved on, okay? So, and said she didn't want to testify. So she made it clear that she was only in court testifying because she was issued a subpoena by the government. So she's like, I don't want to testify. I moved on with my life. Again, she doesn't want to do and deal with any of this BS. She's like, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it. I want nothing to do with this crap. But you guys are asking me to come in and talk, so I'm going to talk that talk. And that's it. That's it. I'm done. After this, I'm done. I'm moving on, right? Carrie also confirmed that she and Cassie, who met on a modeling shoot as teenagers, no longer speak to each other because her boyfriend, Diddy, attacked her. Okay, she told the court that she got to know Diddy very well in the roughly 11 years that he was dating her former best friend. She described him as someone who sometimes is very nice and generous, but also someone who had mood swings and could be very aggressive, quote unquote. Carrie testified that Diddy would get mad at Cassie and that Cassie lost her spark and confidence while she was with Diddy. While asked whether Diddy ever spoke down to Cassie, Carrie said it could be, quote unquote, often, and it could be regarding her looks or her behavior. Carrie also told the court that Diddy would sometimes call her up to 50 times in a row to look for Cassie. So he would call up Carrie being like, where's she at? You sure you ain't seen her? You didn't see her at all. Where's she at? Can you help me find her? Where's she at? You sure you didn't see her? She didn't call you yet? I saw, I just saw the wind blow. Did she call you? You know what I mean? I heard a bird chirp. Did she call you? So she testified that she personally witnessed Diddy attack Cassie 2 times, once in Jamaica and another time in Los Angeles. Carrie described multiple incidents of Diddy allegedly flying off the handle and attacking Cassie with seemingly no provocation. Carrie first detailed an incident where she and Cassie were vacationing in Jamaica and Combs arrived halfway through the trip. Of course, she couldn't be out there by herself. Hell no. Not with this guy. He's like, not on my watch. You're going to be out there with Jamaica. Okay. And finding some Jamaica out there. Hell no. Cassie had gone to the bathroom, and after a few minutes, Sean said she was taking too long. And he left me. And then I heard screaming. It was guttural, terrifying. I heard her screaming, so I went into the long hallway, and they were coming out of the master bedroom, and he was dragging her by her hair. All because she was in the bathroom for too long. He then dragged her outside and threw her to the ground, where she hit her head on a brick. Cassie and Carrie then fled the scene in a golf cart and hid in a ditch as Diddy searched for them in another golf cart for hours. This is what Carrie testified. In a second incident, Carrie told the court that she was with Cassie and Diddy at a house that the defendant was renting in Los Angeles in the Hollywood Hills. She saw Diddy allegedly use his hands and his feet on Cassie. Then Carrie Morgan urged a security guard for Diddy, Ruben, to do something, but he refused. So again, they did nothing. Did nothing about this. She told the court that she and Cassie left the house to hide at a neighbor's place and heard Diddy driving by to look for them. Ultimately, however, Cassie returned to Diddy's home, Carrie said. That's insane. Cassie didn't feel like she could leave Diddy because of her job. This is what Carrie says. Carrie testified that though she urged Cassie to speak to the police about these attacks, she refused due to what it means for her career and her livelihood. So prosecution asked Carrie whether she had ever spoken with Cassie about if she should stay with Diddy. Carrie told the court she and Cassie would speak about it often. I wanted her to do what she wanted to do, but I told her she should leave him. And she said she could not because of her job, her car, her apartment. It was apparent to Carrie that after Cassie spent time with people associated with Diddy, she didn't want to leave him. So this is about the alleged hanger attack and how she got paid off. So she recounted the alleged attack she personally endured by Diddy that ended her almost 2-decade relationship with Cassie. She testified that she was at Cassie's home listening to music when Diddy came into the singer's apartment. Cassie was in the bathroom, and Carrie said she was in the living room at the time. He came up from behind me and choked me. He left finger marks on my neck, and he hit me in the head with a wooden hanger. Cassie was in the bathroom. He hit me behind my right ear. Carrie added that Diddy was talking about Cassie cheating on him, and she grabbed her personal things and left. She said she went to an urgent care for a concussion, noting that she was dizzy and vomited a few times. She hired a lawyer, but did not file a lawsuit. Morgan said instead being paid $30,000 from Diddy and saying that she signed an NDA. We haven't spoken since. The last time I spoke to Sean was the last night of the attack, and the last time I saw Cassie was when I signed the NDA. And then, of course, they go, they adjourned for a lunch break later than planned. Okay. And, of course, there's a bunch of updates. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. So where do you live? This is Carrie. Los Angeles. Who is this in the photo? Cassie. What was your relationship? We were best friends. Her boyfriend attacked me. Do you see him here? Yes, in the yellow sweater. Let the reflect that she identified Sean Combs. Why are you here? I got a subpoena. Where do you live? Where did you live with Cassie? In Manhattan. Did Cassie drink? Not much. Any substances? She says none. What was she doing for work? Modeling. Then she recorded me and you. When did you learn that they were dating? Her and Diddy. 2007. Did you travel with Cassie and Mr. Combs? Yes. Ibiza, Miami. What substances did Diddy provide? All of these substances. Okay. The X, the Mary Jane, the Molly. Okay. What did Diddy take? She says all. Did you take substances? Did you take substances along with Cassie? She says opiates. How did Diddy act? He would yell at Cassie. She lost her confidence big time. Lost her spark. Did Diddy talk down to Cassie? Yes. About her looks, who she talked to. Did he contact you looking for her? She says a lot. Sometimes he would call 50 times in a row. Would others call you for him? Yes. Christina Corum or KK. Christina Corum's name's back in the conversation. Did you witness any of these attacks? Yes. First in the Hollywood Hills, Ruben, one of the security guards, was there. What did Diddy do to Cassie? He put his feet on her. What did she do? Nothing. I told Ruben to do something. He indicated he wouldn't. Then what? We left the house. Cassie and I were hiding by someone's front steps. And the next time, in Jamaica, I saw him drag her by the hair. I ran back to get my purse and phones so we could leave. What did you see next? I thought she was knocked out. Then she got up and ran into a wooded area. What happened next? There were 2 golf carts in the driveway. I took one and Sean got in the other. We went in different directions looking for Cassie. Did you find her? Yes. Then we hid in a ditch, whispering. What about the incident at Comstock? I guess in an apartment. Cassie came back with a hoodie over her, covering her face. Then Sean came and tried to get in, hitting the door with a hammer. I called D-Rock. Did he get in? No. Then the police came. What happened? Cassie wouldn't show them her ID. Nothing happened. They left a card. Read this message. Did you send an attachment? Yes. A photo of the card the detective left. Did Diddy ever attack you? Yes. He attacked me with a wooden coat hanger and choked me. Where did the hanger hit you? Behind my right ear. What did he express concern about? If she was cheating on him. Who did you speak to? Who did you speak to about it? Ryan, Sean's old assistant. What did he do? Nothing, she shrugs. I have not spoken with Cassie since. Then they take a break. What's your best citation to try to get this evidence in? And then there's a bunch of numbers. I'll look at them when we come back. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, guys. Break to eat. Then they come back. Okay, blah, 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 blah. All right, jury back in. So were you her best friend since 2004? Actually, 2001. We met waiting for the Polaroids to develop. I was living in Buffalo. She was in Connecticut. Then you were both in New York City. I stayed downtown. She moved to Harlem. Have you ever met Kim Porter? Yes, probably at a concert. Was Cassie ever jealous? Yeah. And the other way? Cassie was speaking with Michael B. Jordan and Sean got jealous. She was trying to leave him. You were both using substances? No. We were in South Africa. Did you learn about Gina? Yes. He was having a full-on relationship with this little girl. Why do you call her that? She acts like that. She's younger than us. When you say Sean came and hammered on the door, why did the police come? They said because of the noise. What did they say to you? Cassie was visibly injured, but she didn't say anything. You two were best friends for 18 years, but now you haven't spoken since 2018? That's true. At the danger of being capital obvious, Captain Obvious, I think. That's a long time. I think that's what they meant. At the danger of being Captain Obvious, that's a long time. She's moved on. Then, of course, they say objection. They say objection, prosecution. Why haven't you spoken with her? She did not support me after Diddy attacked me. I draw a line at attacks. You reached a settlement with Cassie. The money came from Diddy. Then Agnifilo shows Carrie Morgan photos, then asks, did you know if Louise Hayes is a self-help author about self-affirmation or affirmation? I'm sorry, self-affirmation. Yes. Why did you send him this with words of encouragement? I don't remember sending it. Okay. And I'm wondering who this person is too. I guess it's Louis Hayes. Who is Louis Hayes? I'm kind of curious about that too. I want to show you a few more photos. But first, let's talk about the incident when he put his hands on your neck. Were you and Cassie using any substances at the time? She says no. What did he say? He said, Who is she cheating with? You went to an urgent care and not the hospital? Right. But you don't, but you don't, the prosecutors, it was bloody and you went to the hospital. I don't know, but you told the prosecutors it was bloody and you went to the hospital. I don't remember that. Look at this, and of course, I guess material not shown to the jury. I see. I see. I said that. I see that. I said that. Now cross examination. Do you remember? Do you remember Agnifilo asking you about an incident in L.A.? Objection by defense overruled, and he attacked you, and he attacked her, like in Jamaica, arguing about jealousy. What happened in Jamaica? He dragged her by the hair a 50-yard hallway. Was he talking about jealousy? No. He said she spent too long in the bathroom. Nothing further. Any recross? Now. Okay. Why are you here? I've been subpoenaed. Were you Diddy's personal assistant? Oh, this is well, that's interesting. Now, so this is the again David James, a former assistant. So we're going to get into that now, which is very, very interesting. Okay, so interesting. All right, that from everything that we're hearing right now. Okay, as far as what happened with Carrie, and again, it's not like a super long thing because Carrie, only witnessed certain moments, and then of course she was attacked by Diddy herself, which obviously is very bad. He should not have put his paws on her ever. Okay, definitely not a good thing. Period. Point blank. But that is what has happened. She lost her friendship with Cassie due to his volatile nature. And again, the one thing is for sure, Diddy wrong. Diddy wrong for this, y'all. Diddy definitely wrong for this. And it's only going to get worse, I have a feeling, with him. Because we're going to be hearing a bunch of different things. We now have a personal former assistant that he is, or former personal assistant that now is going to be taking the stand. This is the stuff that I think that the feds have been waiting for as well. They're waiting for this moment. This moment is definitely what they want, because if there is any type of structure of racketeering, RICO charges of this caliber, if he says, yes, I was asked to do this, that, and the third, I was asked to set things up, I was asked to bring S workers in, I was asked to pay people, I was asked to do any of those things, all of that can be going underneath those RICO charges and those racketeering charges. So again, also let's not forget substances, him getting the substances and all that stuff. Again, we have now seen, and it's been established, that Diddy is most definitely a monster. We don't need to even question that no more. He is most definitely a monster, and it's all bad. But now they need to start breaking it down on the racketeering. Does he have an enterprise? Does he have a group of people working for him, covering up his crimes, covering up the bad things that he's doing with Cassie and others? Because you got to remember, after he parted with Cassie, he still was doing this with other people. He was still doing things with other people, y'all. Remember, there's another victim number 2, I think, or maybe I think it's victim 2, or maybe it's a Jane Doe. I don't remember anymore. But do we still have another person who's a former girlfriend still taking the stand at some point over the rest of these weeks of this trial? So again, this is all bad, y'all. This is all bad for Diddy. All bad. They've broken down how much of a volatile individual he is. And now we're going to be hearing from the personal assistants and then some. Because you got to remember, there's still going to be S workers talking as well. So this is going to be very interesting. So let's take a look at this, guys. Let's take a look at this. Hold on. Let me get a little bit of wet this whistle real quick. Okay. So So again, they say that she her time on the witness stand ended pretty quick. Okay, after redirect, and maybe they call her back up. You never know. All right, but of course, they asked to reiterate what happened during the attack in Jamaica. The government now has called in David James, a personal assistant who worked for Diddy between 2007 and 2009. And I'm sure he's got crazy tea to give out here. Okay, let's keep it a bean. So James told the court that he was testifying because he was subpoenaed twice, y'all. 2 times a lady. Okay, bad. Woo, this is gonna be bad. I have a feeling. We gonna find out though. We gonna find out real quick. All right. So he broke down in tears. Wait a second. Already? Wait a second. David James already crying? Say what? Hold on. Hold on. Former assistant says he was told that he worked that he told that he worked in Diddy's kingdom, and we are all here to serve. So he broke down in tears already. The man damn near man just broke into tears. What the hell's going on here, guys? So David James, I'm reading this right, broke down in tears describing the Bad Boy staff's undying loyalty to the music mogul, viewing him as a king, the witness said. James recalled meeting with staffers during the interview process in 2007, and one female executive left a lasting memory. And Overcome James grabbed tissues and testified. She said, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom, and we're all here to serve in it." Wow. Wow. And he was crying already. Why is he crying? That it was that traumatic? Oh, this is bad. Well, depending on how you see it. It's bad for somebody. It's bad for Diddy. You got an assistant crying right off the bat. So Cassie said, this in the title, Cassie said Diddy controlled her career and paid her allowance, former personal assistant says. So David James recalled the first time he interacted with Cassie while he was Diddy's personal assistant. It was in Miami when Diddy rented a yacht to try to impress her, James said. When he and Cassie were smoking cigarettes, Cassie told him, "This place is crazy." When David James asked why she didn't leave if she thought it was so crazy, Cassie told him she can't. "He controls my career. He pays my allowance. He pays my rent," she said. This is what he's saying according to David James' testimony. James also testified he heard Diddy talk about Cassie to a friend during a car trip in LA, describing her as his quote unquote queen and being very moldable. Wow. And court has adjourned. What? Court is adjourned. What? What? It's like 3:30. So court is adjourned. Court is adjourned for the day, with David James set to return tomorrow for at least another hour of questioning from the prosecution. That is so weird. Hold on, baby. Hold on, baby. That's weird. That's very weird. That's very abrupt, don't you think? Hold on. That is very abrupt. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So, Diddy's former quote unquote trusted assistant, who allegedly helped set up freak offs, takes the stand. So he took the stand Monday, likely focused on the hip hop's mogul's depraved freak off romps. He had been named by the prosecutor's star witness Cassie as a trusted assistant who helped set up these f-offs, which are the focus of these charges, of these STing charges. He became emotional within moments of taking the stand, as he recalled being interviewed by Vashta Wilson, the human resources for Bad Boy Worldwide Entertainment Group. And he was being interviewed to be Diddy's assistant. I remember sitting at her desk, and there was a picture of Diddy on the wall. She pointed at the wall and said, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom. We're all here to serve in it." Wow. What the hell is going on? So he testifies that the rapper told Cassie, or told him Cassie was multiple, listed women he dated at once. He listed women he dated at once, or listed women he dated at once before the trial wrapped for the day. This is very okay. So the personal assistant, okay, listed the women that had the fallen movie mogul dated at once, and recalled he told Cassie that she was young and multiple before the trial wrapped. So James said that his boss once told him, I've got Cassie right where I want her. She's young. He said she was very multiple. He also told jurors that Diddy dated multiple women at once, but that his baby mama, Kim Porter, was his main squeeze. Kim Porter was his main girlfriend, James testified, before listing at least 3 other women Diddy also dated, including Sarah, Tara, and Cassie. There was Toya, Keisha, about 3 Kims, right? So interesting. And then trial wraps just after 3 p.m. And James is expected to continue testifying tomorrow. I don't know why they did that, why they ended so early. That's very weird. Don't you think? I wonder who Sarah, Tara, we already know who Cassie is, but who's Sarah and Tara? It's very odd. Let's take a look at so odd, y'all. I got the questiones. I definitely got the questiones. Okay. So here is the live tweet transcripts of the testimony here so far. But that's weird that he came in, right? James sat down, and as soon as he sat down, he was busting out crying. That's crazy. So, why are you here? I've been subpoenaed. Were you Diddy's personal assistant from 2007 to 2009? Who's in this photo? That is David James. That is yourself? He says yes. I went to college in Michigan. Later, I faxed my resume to Bad Boy. Where was the interview? 1710 Broadway. Who'd you meet? Tommy, his sister Keisha, and others. How did they test you? They gave me 40 appointments and asked me to make a schedule. I had to know, for example, what time a particular show on Hot 97 came on. What did Diddy ask you? To make a spreadsheet for Miami. I said I'd know his food and restaurant preferences. He asked me why I'd make a good assistant. I said, can't stop, won't stop. I got the job. Wow. He said, can't stop, won't stop. And he got the job. Did he have others? Mr. Robles, Miss Robles, Mr. Barber, others. What would you do as an assistant? Bad boy to 5, then I guess bad boy till 5, like 9 to 5, then out to dinner, then to the studio till about 3 a.m. We get a call time at the end of the night. Did you travel with Diddy as well? He says yes. Who were part of the security staff? D-Rock, Bonds, Uncle Paulie. You worked 20 hours a day? Yes, security did too. What did security staff tell you? To stay in my lane. Who said that? Bond, Uncle Paulie, focusing on his personal chef. Who is this? I think that's what it is. Chef Jordan. Did Diddy have girlfriends then? Kim Porter, Sarah, Tara, Yana, and Cassie. What was your first conversation with Cassie? We were on Star Island. Carrie Morgan was there too. Cassie said, "This lifestyle is crazy." He continues, I asked her, why don't you leave? She said, Sean controls my life, music. He pays for my apartment. Next conversation. The next one you had with her, it was about her music, but the album never came out. Did you overhear a conversation? Yes. Mr. Combs said, Kim is my queen, out in LA with my family. He said, I have Cassie right here where I want her. She's young and moldable. Your Honor, how much longer do you want to go? This would be a good place to take a break. He says, we'll break for the day. And that was it. And then they say, wait, there's more. So Agnifilo says, MDC Brooklyn makes us VCT calls at 6 p.m. We need more. Ending at 3 p.m. helps. If you can extend it. Put in a letter on the docket. So I guess he's trying to get some more time on, I guess, phone calls, I guess. So, yeah. Let's see if there's anything more. That's so odd. It's weird that they just stopped right there. First off, I need to relive this that interview, the Gina interview. I need to relive that because I still feel like she could still possibly be brought in for testimony. There's still a possibility of that for sure. At least I think there will be, but we'll see what happens. But that's weird that this ended so fast today. I mean, no complaints here, but still, that was really, really fast. But here's the thing, guys. I mean, what say you guys? What are your thoughts on this? You know what I mean? I mean, with something like this, you know, I think it's interesting that like right when it's about to start cooking, I mean, you know, they still had another good hour or so, a couple hours left. All right. They still had another hour or so to do some questioning with David James. But it's so weird that they just decided to cut it off right then and there. But still, no matter what, I mean, this is some crazy stuff. Okay. Because you know for a fact he saw some things, and you know for a fact he helped Diddy do some things. And of course, he's somebody who allegedly helped set up these freak offs. Oh. Is it really ending at 3 p.m. going forward? Powder Puff. Thank you so much as well. You're confirming that as well. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm trying to read it out loud, but you guys are commenting pretty quickly. Sorry. It says they announced on other podcasts that the court would end at 3 today. Okay. Thank you so much for the info. I appreciate that. Still, no matter what, that's very, very interesting. A reporter mentioned it on Friday. Okay, I didn't know that. And Exotica just said 9-3 from now on, from now until the end. So that's very interesting. That and that's fine if that's how they're going to do it. That's fine with me. That's fine by me. But I'm still kind of curious as to what you guys think, because this is a very interesting situation. Like they brought in this guy. Instantly, he comes in and he is crying. Because for a fact he knows some things. For a fact he's gone through some things, and now he's going to have to confess. He's going to have to fess up to all the nasty, dirty things that he's done, that he's helped do. Think about that. He's basically going to have to fess up and he's probably scared too, because if you really think about it, could he get charges? Could he get charged? That's the same thing I'm kind of curious about with Cassie, because she even says, I helped hire certain, S workers. I helped set up these freak offs as well. And I feel like any other person that says, yes, I came in and helped this whole thing, right, that they could get charged. Could they possibly catch a charge as well for testifying? I'm just saying, it's something to think about, because that's some wild stuff. Let me get some of these super chats and super stickers, okay? So, John, thank you so much for the 2 super stickers. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Marissa, again, thank you so much. What is this? No, there's so much more to come. Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be a lot more coming, and Diddy is in some serious. I mean, listen. Now we're going to get into a very interesting place, because you have a personal assistant that is alleging of being a part of setting up these freak offs. And now we're going to be seeing that now. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going to be very interesting, is hearing how he sets these up. What is the criteria? What is the rhythm? What is the pattern, right? That is going to be interesting too. Seeing how he sets up and gets these specific freak offs ready for Diddy. That's what's going to be very interesting too, for sure. Okay. Marissa, whether he's guilty or not, ex-OJ. When it comes to the OJ thing, shoot, man, that's another conversation in itself, man. I'm just saying. Let's get into this. Nicole B, thank you so much. I've been trying to reach you all night. I've been trying to reach you all night. I couldn't get in touch with you. I'm ready to come over your house and bang bang that mother of a lover up. Oh, wow, that's lyrics from a song. That's crazy. Wow, I need to look that up. I definitely need to look that up. Very true, right? Very true. Fly Gal, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Let's see. Pascal, I hope you and your family are okay after the last tornado, my friend. Thank you so much. Yes, we are okay. We are okay. Just no internet and all that stuff, which really sucks, but we're gonna be fine. It's just, like I said, we could have a worse situation, which is no home right now for sure. Doc, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Violence will shut your mind down. The repercussions of this violence is memory altering, leading to cognitive dissonance, leads to severe PTSD. And you ain't wrong with that too. That's a very good point, man. That's a very good point. That is a very, very good point. Okay. Like I said, I feel like there's going to be, when it comes to Dawn's testimony, she is a victim as well, allegedly. But if she really did go through those things that she did go through, yeah, I feel like there are going to be a few things that are going to be very hard for her to process, or she may not remember certain things until after the fact, way later on in, when she's home. You know what I mean? It could be anything. She could be sitting there in the middle of making a sandwich and suddenly go, oh my gosh, I remember that. Now I remember this part. But you'd think that she would reach out to the prosecution or something of that sort and just, tweak her information that she was having with prosecution. But like I said, we're going to find out more as time goes on, right? But I think that's with everybody. When you are attacked, when Cassie was attacked, like again, she would play possum, right? She would just play dead. She would just go into the fetal position and cover her head because it's just like regular every day for her. That's a normal MO because she's used to being viciously attacked by Diddy. You see what I'm saying? So again, I think that there's going to be I'm sure there's a lot of moments that she's been attacked that she doesn't even remember, that might show up later on in her life as she's just sitting there, like I said, just watching TV, and suddenly she goes, oh my God, I remember this. And it might be solely because she's been attacked so many times that they all kind of meld into one. You see what I'm saying? Being attacked in that way, being attacked that viciously all the time, you'd think that, you might not remember every single one unless you are writing this stuff down, journaling this stuff, right? Or even just taking photos of those things. You know what I mean? So something to think about for sure. S-Dubs, thank you so much for being a member for the past 27 months. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Over 2 years. Did wifey... Oh. Nope. Not yet. But, yeah. So again, this is very, very interesting. I am kind of curious how the next couple days are going to be. Tomorrow, I'm sure, is going to be a very interesting one, especially now that we have somebody who actually set this stuff up, helped set this stuff up. I think it's going to be very interesting. And you can already see the guy already feels guilty as F. He's already coming in traumatized and guilty, right? Do you think they could have gotten immunity? Glad you're okay, by the way. Thank you so much. Maybe they may have worked a deal out so that they don't get in trouble, that they don't catch a charge. That's still a possibility. So Exotica, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. That might be the situation. They may have worked out a deal saying like, I'm not squawking unless I get immunity so that I don't catch charges later. I don't want to just give you guys all the raw and nasty details and then suddenly out of nowhere, as I'm walking out of the courtroom, I'm getting arrested for my involvement in this stuff. Heck to the no. That's probably what happened here, because they're like, you know what? You guys were minions in comparison to Diddy. Diddy's the big fish. You're not even a fish. Let's be real. Y'all were being used and told what to do. Either it was out of fear or out of whatever. We just want to take down the big guy. In fact, you never know. As this thing goes down, as this starts to get worse and worse, if there are bombshell testimonies that come out, which I feel like with David James, I feel like this is going to be definitely a bombshell testimony tomorrow. So get ready for it, because that's going to be absolutely crazy. But I do think that as we get more and more down the line, I think as we start to get more into the middle of this trial, I truly believe that Diddy's going to start talking. He's going to try to do something. I really think that there's going to be a curveball that's thrown in here because he's scared. There's other people that are stepping forward that are going to testify, and it's not just this one assistant. Remember, this is 7 weeks, 7 more weeks of people stepping forward and speaking out, talking about what they experienced. There's former assistants, former S workers that were a part of these freak offs and all that. So again, this is going to be interesting what we're going to see here in the next several weeks. But again, even here, we're going to be talking about it and we're going to be covering it as much as we can. because it is not done. We are nowhere near done with this trial. We just got started. And I'm telling you, Diddy has a lot of things to be worried about. He has a lot of reasons to be scared right now. This is not looking good for him at all. At all. But let me just check a few things here really quick before, because I didn't realize it was going to be ending so early today. Okay. But I am curious to see what other pieces of information, if any, that has come out. I mean, I think he has all the reason to be a little bit nervous. I think he has all the reason to be a little bit nervous about this guy, David, coming in. Oh boy. So yeah, she was. Yeah, they finally showed. There's some things I can't show you guys on camera, unfortunately, but they showed in court. They like TMZ got their hands on the photos of the injuries that Cassie kind of received during their, during that situation, during the multiple fights that they had, the cuts and then the black eyes and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Charity, thank you so much for the super chat and the heads up. So court will end at 3 going forward, which cool. That's cool with me. You know what I mean? That gives us an opportunity to take care of whatever we need to take care of during the day and all that. It was just a little bit of a surprise for me, but at the same time, that's cool. That just means I start a tiny bit earlier. You know what I mean? Other than just starting at noon, maybe I start a little bit earlier so that we can, so we can follow and cover everything that's going on. But again, yeah, y'all, they finally showed some of the footage of what the jury was seeing, what she, the things that she was that he inflicted upon her allegedly. And it's not, they're pretty graphic photos. It's not great, but shoot, man, this is a very interesting trial. This is a very interesting trial. So we're going to see what happens here, y'all. We're definitely going to see what happens here. Oh man. But they are back. So again, what say you guys with everything so far? I think that when this assistant does testify tomorrow, I think there's going to be some bombshells dropped. Diddy, I'm sure, is nervous about this guy. I will also say this guy also only was an assistant for him for 2 years, from 2007 to 2009. Again, that's a long time. That's still a lot of freak-offs. Let's not forget, there's a lot of freak-offs potentially that he helped set up. There's a lot of, cowboys for angels and a lot of, gigolos. You know what I'm saying? So let's not forget all that. Even in those 2 years that he worked for him, that's still a lot of stuff or a lot of potential stuff that this guy was involved in. And he, I'm sure, saw the attacks on Cassie, but I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to remind you, this has nothing to do with the DVs, with the DV that this woman endured. Has nothing to do with that. Remember that. Has nothing to do with that. This all has to do with the STing, with the pros, with the moving S workers across state lines or into other countries, which they have been clean. They've clearly showed that a bunch already. It's the racketeering and the RICO for me, y'all. Now they got this guy, David James, coming in and speaking on that. We're going to see if what he talks about is absolutely Diddy being the head of some sort of enterprise. Wait for it. This testimony is going to be big. So I may start a little bit earlier tomorrow just so you guys know. But if I do, you'll see it on the post. You'll see it on my, like, like the I'll give you guys a fair amount of heads up, just so you guys know, because I may come on just a little bit earlier, since trial is ending an hour earlier from now on. I might start a little bit earlier as well, so that we get a good, amount of coverage on this whole thing, because nonetheless, this is crazy. And yeah, Capricorn Clark, that's another one. I need to do a recap on all those names, because honestly, I don't remember Capricorn Clark either. I think she is an assistant, but I need to look that up again. I think we just I need to look that up again. Like I said, a lot of these names we talked about months ago, and then now they're all kind of coming back in a way, right? But real quick, let me get this super chat. Where the hell did it go? I hope Jonathan Adi takes the stand, because he was speaking about this before Cassie said anything. That's true. I just know it's going to get wild, since, we are barely a weekend. Yeah, we just got in this is day 6. You know what I mean? It's about to get crazy. Trust and believe is about to get crazy. Okay. But again, guys, we'll be talking here soon. If there's any updates, of course, I'll give you guys updates as the day goes on. They are ending early now, so there's always room for them to file something. There's always room for them to try to file some sort of BS motion, or try to slide something in out of nowhere, slide through the cracks, as far as motions and letters that might be submitted for this particular trial. And of course, we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Okay. But that is the show. Again, I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. We still got more, and we'll be talking about that, all the more stuff here very, very soon. So please don't forget. All right. We are still covering this. We have not stopped. Okay. It's only going to get crazier as time goes on. So just be on the lookout. Like I said, I may be on a little bit earlier, starting the rest of this week. So just be on the lookout for that, so that you guys can get the coverage here as well. This setup worked out pretty decent. I'm happy about that. So hopefully it'll hold up tomorrow as well. All right. But anyway, please do me a favor before you head out. I appreciate all y'all. Hit that like button down below. That would be amazing. Hit it. Hit that like button down below. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at with... We're almost at 2K. But if you can hit that like button on the way out, we could quickly get to that 2K. That would be greatly appreciated. All right. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. I'm on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble. So show some love if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. And of course, hit that join button down below. Become a member. Welcome to the family. Some of you guys just became members. Welcome to the family. Hit that join button down below if you haven't gotten a chance to become a member yet. Support the channel if you can. Hit that, or check out that Patreon. Check out that Locals. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, okay? But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all this and then some. But until then, stay blessed out there. And we'll talk here soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.